your weekly review. Today we're going to break down the latest news, rumors, and updates for G.I. Joe all in one fast-paced video. Get ready, folks. This episode is jam-packed with news, brand new classified series insight, new hints about 2024-25 figures that have not been reported elsewhere, a G.I. Joe mystery which has gone unsolved all year long so far, and it just might stay that way forever, a sneak preview of an upcoming classified figure who will be released in early 2024, a special reveal at the end, and much more. First up, Hasbro will hold a live stream later this week on Thursday, December 7th. At that time, we anticipate the pre-order releases of Big Boa, Techno Viper, Airborne, Quick Kick, the 60th Anniversary Action Soldier Infantry, the 60th Anniversary Action Soldier Recon Diver, Retro Duke, and Retro Scarlet. There will also likely be some digital render reveals and some name-only reveals for the pipeline. As always, stay tuned for our full coverage of all the reveals and announcements this Thursday. The December 7th reveals are likely to be our last big batch of new reveals for 2023. It's been a busy fall with a lot of releases jammed into a tight time period, so collectors' wallets are taking a big hit right now before the holiday season begins. In terms of future live streams, as we told you last episode, we believe that there will be another Hasbro live stream event with G.I. Joe releases on or around Thursday, February 1st, 2024. Pencil this one into your calendars for now. Next, collectors in the US and UK began to receive shipping notifications over the past week for the Hiss Tank. The HasLab shipments should begin to arrive either this week or next. The Hiss Fire Team 3-pack will begin to ship to collectors over the next month. As for the next waves of classified pre-orders for 2024, they will include Alpine, Iron Grenadier, the Iron Grenadier Bat, Doc, Jinx, the Night Creeper, Dreadnought Torch, Nagahide and his Boar, a deluxe version of Raptor, Retro Beachhead, Retro Snow Serpent, and the Retro Cobra Eel. Next, strap yourselves in, folks. There's something very interesting about the year 1985 as it relates to the classified series pipeline and two unannounced figures. First, allow me to explain what's happened. So far, the following characters from the 1985 lineup are part of classified: Alpine, Barbecue, Bazooka, Buzzer, Crimson Guard, Dusty, Cobra Eel, Flint, Lady J, Quick Kick, Ripper, Shipwreck, Snake Eyes, Snow Serpent, Televiper, Tomax and Zaymot, and Torch. In short, of the 20 mainline release figures released in 1985, 18 are known to be part of the classified series. The only two characters not named also happen to be two figures that we're anticipating will be announced for the 2024-25 lineup: Airtight and Footloose. Based on comments made by the Hasbro team during interviews earlier this year, it appears that Mole Rat, a brand new character for G.I. Joe that only exists in classified, was created for a different purpose, which is reusing its body mold for another figure. Reusing body molds and parts and pieces is what Hasbro has a long history of doing. Look no further than Glenda and Retro Scarlet, which are essentially the same figure, so it's no coincidence that Mole Rat's body mold is an ideal fit for Airtight, right down to the bagginess of the outfit and even matching pockets on both outfits. Furthermore, from a sculpting and design standpoint, there's even more smoke to this. Mole Rat's shin swivel is cut exactly where Airtight's longer boots begin. Take a closer look at the orange section of Mole Rat's lower leg. It serves no purpose. We expect that Airtight will reuse Mole Rat's body, while removing the orange section beneath the shin swivel and replacing that with longer boots like Airtight wears. We also expect that Airtight will obviously get his standard gloves, which in this case would cover up his forearms. Even Mole Rat's backpack and the hose which connects to his gas mask appear to be a natural fit for Airtight if Hasbro wants to reuse that as well. That said, we believe that Airtight might receive a brand new backpack which is part of a brand new accessory mold for him, and which also includes his handheld sniffer apparatus. Upon close examination, it becomes more and more apparent that Hasbro had Airtight in mind when they first designed Mole Rat. Reusing body molds is one way that Hasbro maximizes its profits. And on their side of the fence, it's a smart move to consider what new characters they can create by kit-bashing their own designs. If not for Airtight, it's very possible that Mole Rat would have never been created in the first place. Just like we covered earlier this year, Hasbro had already designed Retro Scarlet long before they decided to reuse the mold and create Glenda for the Dragonfly. As we head into a brand new year of classified reveals, let us know if you think that we're correct that Mole Rat is a sneak preview of Airtight. On a side note, Airtight was previously part of Tiger Force in 2013, so keep that in mind for future possible redeco versions. Meanwhile, the other 1985 character in question, Footloose, was previously part of Slaughter's Marauders. We are already expecting that more Mad Marauders redecos will join the line in 2024 and 25. The hints are already in front of us for Footloose to join Classified soon, which alongside the arrival of Airtight would complete the 1985 main lineup. Hasbro's lead design manager, Lenny Panzica, has previously said in interviews earlier this year that he's interested in completing lineups from the past. It's very possible that the main 1985 lineup of 20 characters will be completed very soon for the Classified series. So let's quickly turn this over to you. Are you interested in either Airtight or Footloose? We want to hear from you on these two classic characters and get your thoughts on the possible reuse of the Mole Rat. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Next up, we've got a brand new sneak preview of an upcoming Classified figure. And before we move on, we invite you to quickly do us a favor and smash that like button to show your support for the show and the work that we put into it. Over the past 6 months alone, we gave Viper Island viewers a heads up about Metalhead, the Iron Grenadiers, the Iron Grenadier Bats, the Iron Grenadier theme line, Rakondo, Alpine, and the Cobra Ferret, just weeks before they were all announced by Hasbro. So if you haven't done so yet, hit subscribe and become part of our growing community. Next up, speaking of upcoming Classified figures, let's talk about Nagahide. Recently we showed you what appears to be Nagahide's hat as well as his head sculpt, and we now have the first true look at the prototype parts for the G.I. Joe Classified Nagahide. He has a full-on snarl and is baring his teeth. He has a collection of scars on his forehead and a mutton chop beard and mustache. Nagahide was originally featured in the Sunbow animated series and then the Deke series as well. He's a member of the Dreadnoks, so he should be a welcome addition to the Classified lineup. Now that we have a much better prototype preview of Nagahide, what are your thoughts? Does this make you more or less interested in the Safari Hunter from the Dreadnoks? Let us know. I'm personally looking forward to Nagahide and especially his boar. I love any Cobra character who displays a lot of personality, and on that front, Nagahide likely won't disappoint. Next, we have a mystery on our hands, folks. As 2023 comes to a close, along with Year 4 of G.I. Joe Classified, there is one mystery in particular which remains unsolved. No one has ever taken credit for sculpting Falcon. Nearly every other Classified figure has been shown and discussed in great detail by the sculptor who helped create it, with the mysterious exception of Falcon. I wonder why. Perhaps someone, somewhere, has that one vital clue that can help solve a mystery. Perhaps that someone is watching. Perhaps it's you. Next, during the New York Comic-Con panel earlier this fall, the Super 7 team was asked if they would be producing a G.I. Joe O-Ring line. They said no, and that the O-Ring Cobra Viper 5-pack was only created for the purpose of filling out the Cobra mothership. Super 7 also clarified that their main focus is the 3 3/4 inch reaction line. However, in a complete reversal of what they just recently announced, Super 7 has apparently flip-flopped on their word and will suddenly now be producing a line of G.I. Joe O-Ring figures. As we've seen over the last few years, G.I. Joe fans at large have shown limited interest in Super 7 products, prices, quality, and turnaround time from the date of purchase to the date of delivery. It's worth noting that Hasbro's famously shown next to no interest in producing a brand new O-Ring line themselves. They started one in 2021 to market the Sky Striker HasLab and help get that project funded. However, sales and interest immediately fell off as the 3 3/4 inch figures were deemed too expensive by most collectors. This lack of interest resulted in Hasbro quickly abandoning the line only months later and very quietly kicking the line to the curb. To this point, for over a year, they avoided questions about the status of the O-Ring line, before finally admitting that they had moved on and had no future plans for a full O-Ring line. As a result, many collectors were left feeling burned and lied to, and now Hasbro has passed off the O-Ring line to another company to assume the risk instead of them. Time will tell if Hasbro's decision to offload the O-Ring line to the overpriced, unpopular, and slow-moving Super 7 will prove to have been the right path.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Let's turn this over to you. Do you think that moving the O-ring line to Super 7 was a good idea? Why or why not? Which camp are you in? Do you think that this is a genuine effort by Super 7 to revive the G.I. Joe O-ring line? Or, given the fact that their $500 Cobra Mothership crowdfunding campaign is currently struggling and nowhere close to being funded, do you think that the timing of this O-ring line announcement is once again just another last-ditch effort by a company at trying to save a crowdfund project that's received little to no interest so far from collectors? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on this O-ring situation. Next, we have more information about the side-scrolling retro beat-em-up style G.I. Joe game for Nintendo Switch and PC. G.I. Joe Wrath of Cobra is part of Hasbro's new digital gaming division, Hasbro Retro Arcade, developed by Maple Fire Games and published by Freedom Games. Characters known to be in the game so far include Duke, Roadblock, Scarlet, Gung-Ho, Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, Cobra Commander, Destro, Zartan, Baroness, Major Blood, Dr. Mindbender, Cobra Trooper, Cobra Officer, and Crimson Guard, among many others. It will be released in the first quarter of 2024. Stay tuned. When we have more details, we'll let you know. And next, it's time for a brand new edition of the Viper Island Custom Figure of the Week. In this edition of the Custom Figure of the Week, we're shining a spotlight on friend of the show, Figurehead. We featured a lot of his G.I. Joe custom figures since the launch of Viper Island. He created a special OG version of Crocmaster for our first year anniversary. Then he created this Ultimate Edition G.I. Joe classified Road Pig and his Chopper to celebrate our second year anniversary. To this day, is my favorite G.I. Joe figure in our entire collection. And now, it's our pleasure to share with you his latest creations. Figurehead has created a classified version of every Dreadnought that's ever existed. We're going to share some of them with you today. First up, Buzzer and Ripper. These are done in the classic stylings and more beefed up than their classified counterparts. There's Xandar, the Dreadnought Cycle, that would be badass to have in classified. Then Storm Rider in the Doom Cycle. This was voted Best Custom Figure of the Year in our 2021 Viper Island Year-End Awards. Figurehead's version of the Doom Cycle features a ton of attached weapons, including machine gun blades on the front wheel. Then there's also the version 2 of Zartan with his cycle, as well as Zanya, Road Pig, and his two-seat chopper. Outstanding work as always. Then how about a Dreadnought Thunder Machine and Thrasher? We're all waiting for this to join classified, and hopefully the one that Hasbro makes is as detailed as Figurehead's version. His version even has sound effects for the engine. Just give this a listen. And then of course there's some other classics like Monkey Wrench and Torch. This is a wicked retro look, especially with those flame blast effects. And we have a gritty and more realistic version of Nagahide and his pet boar, as well as some lesser known Dreadnoks. You can follow along with Figurehead's custom Dreadnoks reveals over on his YouTube channel. Stay tuned for new episodes of his Dreadnok series with brand new reveals. There's a link in the video description of this episode. Let's get together and show Figurehead some support from the Viper Island community. He's trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and if anyone can help him get there soon, it's our awesome Viper Island viewers just like you. And as always, we want your takes in the comments section. Today's Viper Island question of the day is, who is your favorite Dreadnought? And which Dreadnoks are you hoping to join classified in the next year or two? As for me, it's no secret that Road Pig is one of my favorite G.I. Joe characters of all time, and hands down my favorite Dreadnought. But we want to hear from you, so let us know in the comments down below. Until next time, stay tuned for our full coverage of all the reveals and announcements this Thursday from the December 7th live stream. My name is Liam. You can follow me on Instagram at Viper Island. For all things G.I. Joe, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you want to support the show, smash that like button. Until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, have a great day, and yo Joe!